All right, we're here with the one and only Fred Rispoli from Hodl Law. Fred, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the channel. I'm in my workout clothes. I'm Lululemon and proud of it. And I wanted to give a shout out. I've been working out. Yeah, there we go. I'm 4 times a week for the last 4 weeks. Thank you to the blockchain trucker for getting my ass back in the gym. I'm I'm only going to be able to meet him when I can bench my own weight at least once. I'm getting there, baby.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. First of all, shout out to the blockchain trucker because that guy is my spirit animal. I had the chance to meet him at the proper party in New York. Such a great guy. I love catching. I try to catch every single New York minute that he does because they're just fantastic. And he's got a great personality anyway. But yeah, guy's obviously super into his health and being fit. And I'm trying to do that too. I'm down 36 pounds since the last conference we had. You're working out. It's all happening, blockchain trucker. We're making
Here
it
we go,
happen.
baby.
That's right. That's my sweat towel, but there's no sweat in it. No, there is. There is. I promise you there is. But speaking of sweat, we got some sweat yesterday with the XRP ETF, BlackRock. Is it real? Is it not real? Your thoughts real quick on that.
Okay, so I did a little X post. It's definitely a real filing on the website, on the Delaware Corporation Commission. I interact with that website all the time when I'm going to file a lawsuit because most companies organize there because you can get a lot of shady things accomplished in Delaware. So that's why everybody goes there. So, when I'm suing nursing homes or these entities, I look to see where does the shell go. So it's definitely a real filing. Now, people have been saying it's a fake filing on the real website, if you follow me, and that's not hard to do. And Jeremy Hogan gave you the specifics on it on X yesterday as well. So you can do a fake filing. It's illegal. There's consequences if you get caught. The thing that's interesting is the XRP Trust filing is exactly like the Ethereum one last week. The Ethereum one was November 9th. XRP was November 13th. So I don't remember anybody going hardcore saying like how fake the Ethereum one was. And it could be real. And maybe a hack or a spammer saw the Ethereum one and was like, oh, I can make money doing this with XRP. That's a possibility too. But you would think they're kind of the same. It's a different registered agent address between the Bitcoin one, which is real, and the Ethereum and the XRP one. And so, I mean, who knows? If it's real, it doesn't really mean as much as you might think because this is just something that you would do as a first step if you were going to offer an XRP trust. And so you could file all the paperwork in Delaware and just sit on it for a while. So if it's real, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's better than nothing, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. The real thing would be when you see the SEC filing or the NASDAQ filing, something like that to indicate we're getting serious. So it's a real filing on the website. Whether BlackRock did it or not is still an open question.
Yeah, and that's quite interesting that it's still an open question. But to that point, we will keep an eye on the SEC Edgar filing, right, to see if it adds any validity to that, because I think that would start giving us a better point of true north on the compass so we don't have to sweat so much and worry about what's actually going on, whether it's legit or not. I mean, but good on the community for being cynical and because we've all been through so much, right? So
Yeah.
good on the community for being like, okay, it's on. Then everybody's like, hold up. So it's good that we're aware of it. We'll follow it, trust but verify. We need to verify more. We need to get some more points of verification before we move forward. Now, with that being said, we don't need any more points on verifying what the schedule is for the damages of the SEC versus Ripple. So tell us about that and your thoughts, because I thought you just had some wonderful remarks and insights yesterday to share.
Oh, thank you. So, I'm sure everybody who watches your channel knows that the scheduling came through for the remedies section of the lawsuit. They didn't do a lot of discovery on this in the whole 3 years that this litigation has been going on because, the thought process was we're going to wait to see how all these legal rulings on liability shake out before we do damages. They agreed to that earlier on. And so now we're going to do discovery. It's just the same thing everybody saw with how discovery went up until the summary judgment motions, but now for remedies and damages, and money only. And so if you think that you don't have to worry about anything until the first filing is due in February of 24, you may be right, but you're 90% likely to be wrong, because there's going to be, I think, a lot of discovery fights between the SEC and Ripple, in terms of what they're allowed to use, what the SEC is trying to get from a business information from Ripple. So I think all those fights are going to still happen. And so you'll see the motions to compel, all sorts of motions like that. And go into a couple of details where I think we're going in terms of, the magic settlement word and everything. But in terms of the timeline, the reply to these motions the final reply from the SEC is due April 29th, 2024. So that's when the briefing will be over, and the judge will probably take 2 to 3 months minimum to issue a ruling on that. So now we're at end of August, September 2024. Once that ruling comes out, either SEC or Ripple will probably file some post remedies motions or some other, finalizing the lawsuit so it's all ready for a final judgment. That'll take a couple more months. So, I don't think anybody files a notice of appeal until early 2025, maybe even like February, March 2025. The briefing schedule for that, will start in the summer or fall of 25. That'll go through the, I think the briefing will be done somewhere in 25, and it takes a year and a half for the Second Circuit to issue a ruling. So that was the explanation of my post on X, which is you're not going to see, if there is an appeal, this all presumes there is an appeal, you're not going to see a result from that until mid-2026. And, it could be great for Ripple. It could be terrible for Ripple. The bottom line is think of everything that's going to happen, in between now and then. We're going to have a different president or the same president in a different term. So, it's, and, another 2 years going, but there's just so much that can change that, makes you realize Ripple is safe. XRP is safe in terms of what that January 13, 2023 ruling was from Judge Torres that we all celebrated. That is safe until 2026. So, I mean, it's almost, in terms of everything that could happen between now and then, legislatively, it's, it's a lock. You can plan, with certainty for it. And so now it's, do the banks, do other financial institutions, do they have the courage to now begin using it if they're going to? We get to see all the talk and hype about partnerships, this, that, and the other. Is it real? Is it going to start happening? There's no good excuse now for it not to happen from a litigation perspective. I mean, you have to be super conservative. Even more than your typical bank, to really be scared about this with where we are in the legal landscape.
Oh, it's so well said. And I feel like, when you think about December, Ripple and Uphold going live to service business to business payments on the backside of Uphold, and knowing that both of them have already done that and they're about to do it together in scale, to the point that you made about the decision from Judge Torres being ironclad, and going to what Brad Garlinghouse has said, that the bank said to him that the OCC is leaning on them to say, don't fool with this stuff until we tell you to, paraphrasing. I feel like that Uphold Ripple relationship can actually give them that workaround, that nexus, so to speak, for them to begin to start to use it under these circumstances, even though we still have the case possibly, like you said, if there's no settlement or whatever until then. If this is all still ongoing, then you have this all really happening and taking place underneath this legal dog leash that I believe is really kind of by design, that it's happening to make sure that for the first time in the world, this, what I believe to be a non-government, non-state backed money, is truly being introduced inside of the financial system to complement the financial system and not challenge it. And that's kind of what I see happening today, Fred. And any final thought here?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, to me, the issue is who's going to be that winner, you know, and I don't think it's one person, but I think it's going to be a handful. And is Ripple as a company in that winner circle? Is XRP as a digital asset in that winner circle? You know, I'm betting that it is, both that Ripple and XRP are going to be. You know, it's not set in stone, but I think the odds are higher and the probability is in that favor. But yeah, I mean, everything is transitioning. If you just look back at world history, you know, this is how everything starts. It's very difficult to, I know everybody loves flip the switch, but it's very difficult to actually do that, especially as the world's become more complicated and more interconnected. And, you know, these things take time. You know, I always, I haven't, I don't know if he's put it up in a while, but DAI, like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a PowerPoint from some company where it had like the timeline. And I think this was in 2020, 2021, where it's like, and then Ripple XRP will really, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but hit its stride in like 24, 25. And I'm like, I'm not waiting until 24, 25. That's ridiculous. It's not going to take that long. And then, you know, obviously here it is. So I forget if anybody in the comments knows which PowerPoint that was. That's an OG remembrance right there. But you know,
I
it
do
takes
remember.
time. I think you're right that it's going to happen, and you know, hopefully XRP and Ripple are in that one.
Yeah, I believe you're referencing the NTT data consultant timeline that existed that we've all seen for so long.
Okay, so you remembered it right off the top of your head.
Yeah, it's kind of a curse, right? You know what I mean? I got it, you know, but it is falling in line with that timeline, which is pretty remarkable because I remember feeling the same way you did in 2017 and seeing that stuff and going, ah, it ain't gonna take that long. And,
Yeah,
but you
I
know
know
what?
we really underestimated that.
Yeah, well, and as so often people do, right? They overestimate what can be done in a year, but they underestimate what can be done in 5 years, right? Or 10. So
Yeah.
it really is the truth. Fred, I want to thank you for what you're doing. And by the way, hashtag free DAI. The guy did nothing wrong, you know, silenced on Twitter. So hopefully he's able to get back soon. And I encourage everybody to keep that trending on X so we can hopefully get the attention of the right people and get him back where he really belongs. The community needs him.
Exactly. Free DAI.
Amen. No doubt about it. We need him back. He's so much fun. Hey, Fred, you are too. And thank you to you, John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan, Bill Morgan, and all Jim Filan, and all the other incredible attorneys. If I forgot your name, please forgive me, but we would be lost without all of you. So thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Oh, I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on the show. I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. And as always, we'll see you at XRP Las Vegas 24, my friend, because I know that there's going to be a karaoke night and Fred Rispoli is going to be leading at the helm, right?
I will be there and I'll be ready.
All right, Fred. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Adios.
Yep.